Hey guys, it's Emma back with the second book in Cassandra Clare's series, The Eldest Curses. So this is The Lost Book of the White. It's the second one. It comes right after The Red Scrolls of Magic. This was released 2-3 years ago. And then The Lost Book of the White. Beautiful cover art. I need to talk about that because, I love it. But this was released, September 2nd? Around there. It was early September. And I picked it up right away, got it, read it, forgot that I read it, and now I'm making a video about it. So, this, if you have not already watched my review of The Red Scrolls of Magic, go find it and watch it. It's one of my least viewed videos, but I love Cassandra Clare. She is my favorite young adult author. I love the Shadowhunters universe, and the Lost Book of the White, well, both. The Eldest Curses are kind of in there, in the universe. They don't have anything that, would be a deal breaker in the universe, because these characters we know are alive because they've been in other books, and this is kind of in the past. But they're really good if you love MALEC. MALEC is the couple of the Mortal Instruments. Not the main couple, but they should be, according to everyone that I've ever heard talk about the Mortal Instruments. Alec and Magnus, they are awesome and they complement each other in perfect ways, but they also have some challenges, and finally we got a book series about them. And the first one, it was good. I liked it because it was us finding out all about Alec and Magnus and how they cope with their relationship, but it was it wasn't boring, but it wasn't something that you just read straight through and you're like, yes, I love this. The Lost Book of the White, that was good. This was a good book. This was something that was really hard to put down. It's pretty short, but the pages are pretty big, there's a lot of words on there. It gets through a lot, and one of the things with the Red Scrolls of Magic is the ending kind of wrapped it up. I didn't even think there was going to be another book, but for the Lost Book of the White, definitely, the ending, you're like, oh no, now I need the next book right now, right this instant. It's not here. It'll be here in 2 years, sadly. But it finally left us with this cliffhanger that was really needed. So the first part of this, spoiler free. Just, I'll tell you when I will start adding in spoilers. Lost Book of the White, it actually has more of the gang in it. So Magnus and Alec are the stars, but we also have the little blueberry, little Max. He's in there for a tiny bit, and he's in their thoughts all the time. And then we actually see Simon as a Shadowhunter in this book. This is one of the first books where Simon is debuted as a full-out Shadowhunter. There is the Shadowhunter Academy, which I do not have in print. I read that all online, so it was recently released in print. But that was a pretty sad, short story collection where Simon is becoming a Shadowhunter, and now in this, he is a full-out Shadowhunter. So if you don't care about any of the other people in this book, you must care about Simon and that he's a full Shadowhunter, and we actually get to see him in action for a little bit, and we get to see some of the old bickering between Clary, Jace, Izzy, Alec, Magnus, Simon. There were some moments in there where I was really remembering all the good times when I first read the Mortal Instruments. That was 10 years ago almost. Wow. And it really brought back a lot of those memories, so it was nice walking down memory lane, reading down memory lane. But the Lost Book of the White has a clear plot, and my biggest problem with it is that, like, nothing gets solved They go through the whole conflict. It's like, woo, woo. But nothing gets resolved. It just kind of gets worse for the next book. Which is good and bad in ways. Not personally my favorite, like, arc type. But what happens in the story is really nice because you actually get to see Alec and Magnus with their family and figuring out how things go. And it's a sweet book, even though they're dealing with a lot of demons and bad people. So if that was not enough to convince you to read the book, I don't know what will be, but I'm gonna jump into the spoilers for the book, just doing a little bit deeper of a dive. So if you do not want to hear spoilers, stop. Is that a long enough warning? Okay. It was it was really good. But I couldn't help but laugh at how it seemed like Alec and Magnus got together every single night. Like, it wasn't specifically stated. Obviously, it's a young adult novel, but it was implied at least 3 or 4 times in this book. Even when things were, really heated up, they were in a demon dimension. They just had to do, the Quace thing, I guess. And you know what I'm talking about if you understand caves, demon dimensions, and romantic partners. So, there was that, which I just laughed at. No matter the tensions, how high they are, they're just like, oh, I love you, Alec, I love you, Magnus. Which brought this new sense, because we all know Clary and Jace and Izzy and Simon would not be like that. It would be different. It would be more hectic, even though this was really hectic. So the main point about bad people, we finally see Ragnar alive, kind of evil, and they're in Shanghai. I love that. They're in Shanghai. Mortal Instruments always take place in a different big city, so, I mean, the Shadowhunter universe really respects that. She can bring in a whole bunch of different cultures and cities, because even New York and LA are completely different, city cultures, so it's just interesting to see that. For myself, as a writing perspective, imagining one place with your characters in it is hard enough, but taking them around the world is whoa, awesome. How would they react to all these different things? So they got to go to the Institute, and there's a little bit of that backstabby stuff that we figure out, and I was like, oh! And then it was wait, you're not backstabbing them? Okay, it worked out. But they end up in this hell dimension that, God, what was it even called? It was something weird. Yeah, but it was just like Clary and Jace and Alec, and it was just like when they went in the hell dimension following Sebastian. Quite similar, except this time it was torturing in every pit of hell, and there was more evil people involved. I don't know how Sebastian would have reacted though. What would he have said to Samuel? Would he have been like, I am your leader? Yeah, so that would be interesting. I know that was brought up in the book, and I was like, oh god, the whole world would die. That's what would happen. But there were a few key moments that I really enjoyed. Number one being when Magnus took both of the swords and purified, Ragnar when he, unstabbed him with the thorn. I thought that was really good for Magnus's character, because he could have saved himself. But instead, he saved the person that helped him when he was younger, because that's the type of person Magnus is. He gives up his life for others. He cares about others. Even though he could have saved himself, he has stuff to live for. And Ragnar, he's the one that's been off the grid for so many years. He could have died, but no, Magnus cares about other people more than himself, and we built up on that even more. I really enjoyed that. Another thing was like the family aspect. So in her universe, we have not seen anyone with kids like in this situation before. With the chain of gold, kind of. That'll be a thing with Texa and Will, but it's not the same age range, so it's a little bit different. But Magnus and Alec having little Max, their warlock child, it's like this big touch, as in like, you know you need to go home, not for yourself and not for your love, not for your significant other, but for like your child, because what are they gonna do? And we have not got to see that before, because usually it's like Clary and Jace, they have nothing to lose, like they can go run out into battle and die. No, Magnus wanted to go it alone, Alec wanted to go it alone, Magnus did go it alone for a little bit, and so they realize that they're stronger together, so then they can both go back to Max, and it's just kind of cute to see how much they think about him. They obviously love each other so much, and then they share Max in on that love, and he's just brought up like so much. It's cute to be able to see that and to actually feel the parental love through the pages, because usually it's like, oh, whatever, like we have a kid but we have to go do other stuff and save the world. Like, no, it's more than that. Like, it makes them more human and also stronger because they have so much more to fight for. And even though if both of them die they would be devastated, but they're like, hey, I'm not gonna let you die because our child needs you. And they're like, I'm not gonna let you die because our child needs you. Ah! So it was just funny. It was cute, and I really enjoyed the family aspect because, again, something new. So the third book in the series, which is titled, it's the Book of the Black, isn't it? I don't know. She has not released a cover, a little bio about what it's about yet. But from the ending, where we hear about this idea of Lucifer, and it's when Samuel's meeting up with all those other princes of hell, and we're like, oh my god, one of them was bad enough. Like, we're dealing with one of them in Chain of Gold, like the Lost Hours. We're dealing with one of them in these books. I don't want to deal with any more. But Samuel was in love with Lilith, and she was obliterated into a billion pieces, so she's not coming back for a while. And apparently Lucifer is not one demon, or Prince of Hell. It is like all of them combined, because he had to have a meeting with them. They were like, oh, we're gonna work together? Just all Princes of Hell sitting down and talking is disturbing enough, but knowing that they can possibly combine into a transformer and make, like, the King of Hell? Wait, they're all called princes for a reason. Is Lucifer the king? Is he... Okay, so, realization coming in. I think the biggest takeaway from that is that I feel like that kind of thwarts the books, that it might come out of just this series and it might enter the main series, the Wicked Powers. I do not know. Not for sure, obviously. But if there's an event that's that big, and the events in this book were barely even solved, like, they literally just got to leave hell. That's how it ended. Like, no, nothing was taken down, no one was defeated. They just got to, like, go back to normal. And things are going to get worse. So there's gonna have to be a team up, I think, with even more people. Already the first book only had Magnus and Alec, and the second book has Magnus, Alec, Jace, Clary, Simon, Izzy, so I think we're gonna add even more, which kind of ruins the point of it being just Alec and Magnus's books. I don't know, just theories, so that is something that is interesting. Please tell me what you guys think about what's gonna happen when Lucifer is awakened or combined into. What is Lucifer? What's gonna happen? Is the last book going to be like double the length of this? Because these were pretty short. And if something that big happens, like, there's no way it can't be City of Lost Souls size. So I think Cassie has a lot planned. I think she probably already has the base of that book planned out, but she's releasing 1 or 2 a year. I'm just waiting for Chain of Iron to come out, 1 book at a time until we get to the Wicked Powers. That is going to be the crown jewel of all of her writing. Again, these are not bad books. If you love MALEC, like, these are the perfect choice for you. They debut another little storyline. Even in this one, we got to see other people. It was really nice. We get to feel like a different side of the books that's not so directly violent. It's more, or like, I guess most of the books are mostly magical, violent, and like lovey, seductive, blah. So this is like a different point of view. Plus, look, the stars of it are 2 gay men. So Cassie is doing beautifully from where I see, and please tell me what you thought of the book. Any comments, questions, things you want to discuss with me. Like, I will reply to your comments and hopefully learn from you just as much as you can learn from me. Alright, thanks for watching to the end of the video. See ya!